Welcome to Save News TV. We are so excited to have you here today. And as always, we have to get through our fair use, our housekeeping. And so, fair use is the copyright disclaimer of 1976, Section 107. Allowances is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, teaching, comment, education, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance into fair use. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on Save News TV. Our article for today is Arbery killers convicted on all federal hate crime charges. Okay, in Brunswick, Georgia, article is coming from Reuters, and it is written by Rich McKay. And let's get into it. The three white men convicted of chasing down and murdering a young black man, Ahmaud Arbery, as he was jogging in their suburban Georgian community, were found guilty on Tuesday of committing federal hate crimes and other offenses in the 2020 killing. A predominantly white jury deliberated for about 4 hours over 2 days before returning the verdict against Travis McMichael, 36, his father, former police officer Gregory McMichael, 66, and a neighbor, William Roddie Bryan, 52, in the U.S. District Court of Brunswick, Georgia. Ahmaud will continue to rest in peace, but he will now begin to rest in power, Wanda Cooper Jones, Arbery's mother, said outside the courthouse after the verdict was read. All three men were found guilty of violating Arbery's civil rights by attacking him because of his race and of attempted kidnapping, capping the largest high-profile trial to probe issues of vigilantism and racial violence in America. The McMichaels were additionally convicted of a federal firearm charge. Bryan was not charged with a weapons offense. The hate crimes felony, in most serious of the charges the defendants face, carries a maximum penalty of life in prison. The three men were convicted last year of murder and other crimes in state court and sentenced to life for the shotgun slaying of Arbery, 25, a one-time high school football star who worked for a truck washing company and his father's landscaping business. Prosecutors in the state trial avoided characterizing the killing as racist, seeking only to prove that the McMichaels and Bryans were responsible for his death. Cooper Jones on Tuesday rallied against the Department of Justice prosecutors who had originally reached a plea deal with the defendants to avoid the trial. In a rare move, the judge last month rejected the plea deal after Ahmaud's family implored her not to accept it. What we got today, we wouldn't have gotten today if it wasn't for the fight that the family put up, Cooper Jones said. What the DOJ did today, they was made to do today. It wasn't because they wanted to do it. Interesting. We know that's a fact. Or allegedly fact. Okay. LEG time on charges, or lag charges, time on charges. Arbery was shot to death on February 23rd, 2020 by the younger McMichael after all three defendants had chased him down in pickup trucks as the victims was out for an afternoon jog through the community of Stellina Shores, near the southeastern coastal town of Brunswick. The McMichaels insisted they did not act out of racial animus, but out of self-defense and a belief that Arbery appeared suspicious when they saw him running through the streets after a series of neighborhood break-ins. But trial testimony revealed there were no burglaries, but thefts from unlocked cars. The federal prosecutors presented testimony from 20 witnesses and other evidence they said showed that the three men had long histories of using racial slurs and using racial statements. The defense rested its case and called just one witness. There was never a dispute that the younger McMichael fired his shotgun 3 times at Arbery at close range. The killing captured in a graphic cell phone video recorded by Bryan stoking public outrage when it surfaced on social media more than 2 months later with no arrests yet made. Even though Travis McMichael had admitted to police at the scene that he had gunned Arbery down. Civil rights activists pointed to the lag time in arrests of the three men as the latest examples of law enforcement allowing white perpetrators to go unpunished in unjustified killings of Black people. Arbery's name became entwined with a host of others invoked in the summer of protests against racial injustice across the United States, after another unarmed Black man, George Floyd, was killed by a white police officer kneeling on Floyd's neck until he no longer could breathe in May 2020. The federal prosecution of Arbery's killers is the first of in which those who committed such high-profile crimes, murder, are faced a jury in a hate crime trial. The two McMichaels had agreed last month to plead guilty to federal hate crimes offense, and the son acknowledged at the federal court hearing that he singled out Arbery because of his race. But Judge Lisa Wood rejected the plea bargain because it bound her to a 30-year sentence that prosecutors had agreed would be served in federal lockup before the men were returned to Georgia State prison system, widely perceived as a tougher environment for inmates compared with federal penitentiaries. The plea deals were then withdrawn and all three defendants proceeded to trial. Well, everyone, there you have it. We have the Arbery's